Okay, we're here today with Yancey Meyer, great skateboarder, skate instructor, and a bunch of other things too, right?
Yes, sir. Amateur videographer and edit reel developer, and of course skateboarder and instructor as well.
Great. When did you start skateboarding, or what brought you into it?
Sounds weird, but I don't remember a time without one. I know that by 4 years old I had already been on a skateboard for a little while. I didn't get really serious about it until I moved into what then in Hawaii was a city, which was Paia Town, and actually started street skating. I was about 11.
That's great. What are some of your funnest memories from skateboarding back then?
You know what? Getting weird advice from weird people. There was no skaters. There wasn't a lot of street skaters. There was no one to give me an advice. So this hippie guy named Calvin gave me some advice that I still think about every day. And it's so bizarre to have gotten such a great hint and tip from such an obscure, strange, source. Someone who not part of the skate culture yet. He put me on a path, and I've been going that way ever since.
Fantastic. So what are the funnest things you've done in skateboarding, period?
Well, a second ago we were talking about Dwayne Peters. Sharing a room with Dwayne Peters for a week in Florida and just absorbing that dude's stories for a couple days was incredible. Yeah, just meeting your heroes and skating with your heroes and, meeting the next generations and kind of becoming heroes of them. All these young kids I skate with around here right now, I mean, I almost idolize them in a way. They're so good and they're so ahead of our generation. So, yeah, I really dig not letting the years go by without being really absorbed in the now of skateboarding,
That's a good plan. What are some things you'd like to see happen in skateboarding?
I tried to ride a pogo stick while skateboarding the other day, and I fell really hard. So, I don't think... I love the fact that a kickflip is still a kickflip, that 20 years can go by and something that was good 20 years ago is still very relevant now. I think that it got to a certain level and point, and now you could really, unlike any other sport, really compare people from back then to now. If you were a good skateboarder, you would have been good now, you would have been good back then. It's really cool to see that your style of skateboarding will never get old, no matter who you are. It's appreciated,
That's a great thing. It's a great community too. So what's special about skating on Maui, or the Maui skate scene?
Well, it's like a petri dish. It's pulled out of the mass and congealed into a tiny little spot and let to grow by itself. So it's cool, man. There's so little industry and so little influence from outside sources that kids kind of develop their own styles. And being a Maui kid that went back into the big world, it's appreciated. The way we skate out here is different, and it's cool, and it should be enjoyed and embraced, and the rest of the world likes the way we skate. I think that's the point. We skate different, and it's badass.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I noticed a certain color element to it. Even back years ago. Do you think that's from the surfing crossover, or just an attitude? Or?
It's strange that you mentioned the surfing thing, because when I was a kid, there was no both ways. There was no you're gonna surf and skateboard. You weren't allowed to do it. You had to make your choice. So I think that the percentage of kids now that skate and surf hard and are progressive in both spots and serious about both sports, I think it's gone way up. A lot of the families of very famous and very historically relevant surf families, their sons, their nephews, their grandsons, they're all skateboarding now. So they've come to accept skateboarding as, you know, surfers' partner in this.
That's great. It kind of started as that, and I know some places it's impossible for there to be both. If you're locked in the middle of land, you know, you can't. But it's great that there's that opportunity here whether you choose to do it or not.
Well, yeah, you know, people forget that it started from surfers. It started from surfers trying to surf when there was no waves. So it's a gift, really, for everybody, especially those people away from the ocean, that they have this this derivative of surfing that they can enjoy no matter where you are, and that's so cool, and that you can actually mentally surf while skateboarding. I know I do that all the time.
Oh, sure, yeah, I can relate to that one. So where do you think skateboarding is headed in the future?
You know, where it's going in the future, I can't say it's going to get bigger and badder. I can't say it's going to get harder. I can't say it's going to get more technical. But what you can truly say is that it's not going to die. It's lived through so much already, and the fads have come and gone, and it's as close to a pure sport as you can really get. It's you and your board, no outside help. Think about how bitchin' it is. You don't have to have big muscles or be 6'6" to play this game. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be from a good family. You don't have to get good grades. I mean, it's open to everyone, for sure. Yeah, you know, I mean, think about this. I saw a midget today in the bank. And I was thinking about skateboarding when I stopped, because I thought, wow, if you're born a little person, skateboarding's not out for you. If you're born 6'6" with no muscle tone, skateboarding's not out for you. If you're 5 foot and the same size as a dwarf, I mean, skateboarding's right there for you too. So I don't think there's anything else anywhere that really includes all walks like skateboarding does.
Well, absolutely, and there's skateboarders that have mild handicaps, and in fact, the most amazing thing I saw, I went to Del Mar when it was still there, and there was a guy with no legs on a skateboard, and he was grinding the crap on this curve in a little flowbowl thing they had. And I mean, you could just see the fury in the guy's eyes, and he loved it.
The Brazilian guy who rides down like this?
He wasn't Brazilian, I don't know what nationality.
You know,
pretty average, normal guy, you know, except that he was there on a skateboard and he didn't have any legs, and he was just ripping. So, I mean, fast.
I think we all do ourselves an injustice by demanding so much out of skateboarding. I think that we, especially skateboarders who get to a certain level, they really forget the fun and the joy that it really brings out, especially in the most simple state. Just going down a sidewalk and hearing that sidewalk go just feeling the asphalt under your feet. I mean, that is cool. And as long as you can like enjoy the little things from skateboarding, there's no reason to ever stop doing it.
Yeah, right on to that. I can't imagine my life if I didn't skateboard. So, I've been a big proponent of that myself too. Kids struggle. They struggle with different things. You have to take them back and just enjoy them. You know, I'm sure you're giving lessons. You run into kids with different situations. Some learn faster, some learn slower.
Yeah, you know, it's that's the cool thing. I mean, if you think that it's a blank canvas and they've got a paintbrush and some paints, and then you're supposed to not give them any kind of outside influence on what they should draw, how fast they should draw it, what colors they should use. And I think skateboarding should be the same thing. I think it should be kind of your choice to take it the way you want to take it, to do the tricks you want to do, or no tricks at all. You know, in this day and age, there's kids that spend all day racing, spend all day sliding, spend all day in one place doing freestyle, and it's all cool as hell.
So when you got to the point where you were good enough to sponsor, how did it all come about?
You know, it was weird because when I moved to California from Maui, I didn't think I thought I was in the middle of the pack of Maui kids, but the Maui kids were pretty good. We were all pretty good at the time. So when I moved out there, I was immediately like well received. I mean, just people liked that I went really fast. People liked that, you know, that we were going to do grab airs and not let go, that we were going to lock up and we were going to hang up on purpose, and that was kind of our style, and they definitely dug it. They definitely dug it. It was pretty weird to go from your little pack of skaters on a island in the middle of the ocean to seeing Tony Hawk at the skate park the very next day. And it was hard to deal with for a while, but that's the difference.
And some of those guys are so amazing too. It just, you know.
Yeah, you know what, you really realize that to do it, you're actually going to have to put in a lot of hours, a lot of serious training, and you can't let it become a grind for you.
So once you got sponsored and involved in the industry, how did some things change?
You know, I got spoiled for a little while. I can remember a couple tantrums I shouldn't have had. When people like start expecting me to skate well immediately, the pressure was on me, man. I'll admit that I wasn't used to jumping out of a van and being put right on display like that. And I had some issues with it for sure. It was rough.
Well, everybody's got to grow and get used to new situations. It's like a new job in a way. You know, different situations come up you hadn't really planned for them.
Yeah, you know, on another note, you stayed on Maui, you never would have kind of stretched your wings and figured it out. You know, skateboarding is a young sport. Our heroes are still alive. Our forefathers are still alive. We just lost Jay. Tony took me under his wing for a while and really helped me out for a couple years. And I mean, to really be hands-on with one of our pioneers, it's super cool. My grandkids are going to tell their grandkids about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I didn't know. He's definitely an awesome guy. So.
Yeah, it was pretty heavy duty, and to be one of his personal team riders for a couple years, it was a great honor. It really was.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it's something I know you'll cherish forever. So that's fantastic. Some other things. Who are some people you'd like to thank in skateboarding?
If I was to thank some people, I would definitely thank Matt O'Connor, the guy who really taught me how to do what I do. Mark Partain, definitely my sensei for about 10 years, my first 10 years in. I want to thank the youth center here in Paia. I definitely want to thank Jesse Parker and the Escondido crew. I want to thank Embassy for keeping the wood under my feet really fresh. And thank Skate Maui for keeping the spark going here as well.
So any advice to the young guys? Anything you want to tell people about?
You know, treat it like something very, very special. A very special gift that you've got a little slice of, and don't let life squeeze it out of you. Don't let growing up take it away from you. Make sure that you're ready to skate through your 30s, into your 40s, into your 50s, and then I'll be impressed.
That's right. Great advice. Well, thank you for doing this. And, I appreciate the role you play in skateboarding.
Greg, I'll definitely get you and I together for a quick roll here soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm into it. All right. Much aloha.
All right, aloha.